Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video on Total War. The Twisted&Twilight is the latest upcoming DLC for Total War Warhammer 2. In the DLC, it brings two new legendary lords alongside a free rework of how the Wood Elves work. Today we'll be taking a look at the Sisters of Twilight, Naisha and Arahan, but before that I would like to say thank you to Creative Assembly for giving me early access to the DLC. Naisha and Arahan are legendary elves whom are emissaries of Queen Ariel, and much like Teclis and Tyrion, they are also twins. The Sisters of Twilight's personalities are quite the opposite. Naisha is pure, Arahan is wild. Naisha only seeks battle to prevent further harm, whereas Arahan enjoys the heat of battle. The difference stack up, yet the twins are inseparable as one can be, and never to be sighted without the other. The Sisters of Twilight start in the Doomglades of Naggaroth near the Bleak Coast, surrounded by Toon Skaven and Dark Elves with some spawning Beastmen. It's not an area I've really played with, as I've not played Dark Elves that much. A big thing to note is that for those who are playing on Mortal Empires is you'll control the Oak of Ages, which can be somewhat of a problem as your main army is on another continent far from the Oak. But with the new Wood Elves update, Wood Elves can now traverse the map via the Deep Route. The Deep Route can be accessed via any of the forests on the map and connect them all together, allow for you to instantly teleport your armies across a continent to another, though you'll want to use it sparingly as it does have a cooldown before you can do it again. You don't want your armies trapped on the other side of the map as you start losing territory. To outdefend it, the Wood Elves no longer need Amber to upgrade the settlements. It's still very expensive to upgrade the Oak of Ages, but each level up will unlock confederative missions with the other Wood Elves factions help you to secure your borders. You might want to ally the other Wood Elves against any enemies that might want to attack the Oak of Ages. The Sisters of Twilight's unique faction mechanics and effects are the Forge of Dave. The Forge of Dave will give the Sisters access to unique crafted items and weapons. Lord Dave, most celebrated of all elven smiths, is the master of Torgovan, and some even say that Dave is older than Ariel and Orion themselves. Every 10 turns, Dave will gift the twins special equipment throughout the campaign, as well as offering his smithing skills to improve the items. At the start of the campaign, Dave will gift you one of each equipment type. Afterwards, Dave will only offer you one item via a dilemma. Each item that is gifted from the forge are part of a unique set, each with its own focus and strengths. Once you've collected all these items, Dave would then instead offer you a army faction-wide buff. After the sisters win a battle, Dave will open his forge up to either refine one of the gifted items or reforge it into a temporary effect. That depends on which sister enters the forge based on your choice. Nestor will allow you to refine an item, and Arahan will allow you to reforge. An item can be refined twice, which will upgrade its quality level, but a reforging item will always be stronger, but the effects are temporary. You can refine a weapon that has been reforged, but the temporary buffs will immediately end, and the same thing works the other way. You can reforge an item after it's been refined, but the items will lose its upgraded levels. They also have a faction-wide buff to all your armies, which is a 10% to range ammunition. Their Hawk Riders get an ability, Volley of Kurnos, which is a magical missile attack that provides armor-piercing magical damage at long ranges. The Sisters of Twilight come into the game on an eagle, or later on, as they level up to level 12, they'll have a quest to finish to gain access to their unique forest dragon that I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce the name of. Most of the Sisters level ups and buffs are generally focused on range and flying units. At level 10 you can even pick up the skill Challenge of Dave to reduce the turns in which you gain a new item from the forge, as well as extending the reforged item buff time by a couple of turns. On the campaign map, the twins have the Dusk and Dawn trait. This provides the faction with further buffs to their range and flying creatures, with a 15% upkeep to missile units and a plus 10 melee attack and 15% charge bonus to flying creatures. As well as their unique mechanics, the sisters have access to the Wood Elves offices. These offices all provide different buffs for different things and will work best on different lords. You'll fill these up as you go on, so have a look at them and give the position to those who need it, and you can always replace them if you don't want them in the position by kicking them out. You'll also have to be on the lookout for forest encounters, as you will have to deal with them as any Wood Elf should. Usually these armies aren't super tough. They take a couple of turns to spawn, but you can catch them before they do, and they'll generally be even weaker. Forest encounters can spawn in any of your forests as you would expect, but I didn't notice them actually spawning any armies any near the Oak of Ages. I'm not sure if this is intended or I just got lucky, but I'd still get the Oak upgraded as soon as possible to keep it protected while your armies aren't nearby. The twins, as you might expect, are skilled archers in combat. They have two firing modes, Talon of Dawn, which is a single fire and provides piercing shots, as well as adding sundering armor to help you take down those big boys on the battle. They also have Talon of Dusk, which is a multi-shot mode with a poisonous effect. This mode will allow you to shoot down waves of infantry fast while keeping the armored piercing. On top of that, they also have Forest Spirit, gaining bonuses fighting in the forest. They also have an ability Conjoined Destiny. This will heal the sisters up to 2,000 hit points but takes 30 seconds to charge. It has to be prepared before it heals. The other ability is Grindelwald's Vantage. This is a constant passive ability that stays active as long as there's no units within 70 meters. This provides the Sisters of Twilight a buff to their missile damage and reload skill. They lastly have a unique item that is the Eagle's Quiver. This is a magical missile attack that does a lot of armored piercing damage and great at long ranges. Perfect for those who like range focused heroes but with a big dragon for those times when you need to engage in melee, as the Sisters themselves aren't the best up close. With the Sisters comes a selection of new units and a new spell Weaver Lord, and even Ariel herself as a legendary hero. Ariel is the legendary Immortal Queen of Athel-Loren, one of the most powerful spellcasters in the world, and of course that does somewhat translate to the game. She's a very strong spellcaster, bringing the power of the forest with her. Ariel isn't at all strong in melee, but if she does get caught up for some reason, she is unbreakable and causes terror. She also has a very big eyebrows to scare her foes away. She also has the Forest Spirit trait, allowing her to be stronger in the forest as well. Her Law of Magic is a mix of magic. She has Shield of Thorns and Dwellers Below for life magic, Apotheosis and Tempest for high magic, and Soul Stealer and Word of Pain for dark magic. Yes, Wood Elves can now use dark magic. Her abilities are Blessings of the Ancient to provide her with buffs to her Winds of Magic, Life Bloom to heal her on cast, Ancient Protect to buff other allies in range, and Wrath of the Wood to increase the damage output of your ranged units. Lastly, she has access to unique items. Dart of Doom is a magic missile attack that applies a 25% weapon strength debuff when it hits a target, as well as dealing magical damage. Acorns of the Oak of Ages is an AoE explosion that causes higher amounts of magical damage, as well as slowing the unit down by 48%. Lastly, when she is bored and wants a drink, she has a Berry Wine. This increases her vigor by 100% and as well as healing herself. Spellweavers are a new lore choice for the Wood Elves. The Spellweavers bring to the table 5 different types of lords of magic. This includes high and dark magic as well. Similar to the Spellslings, they aren't very tough, but they bring more of a variety of different magic to the battlefield. The Spellweavers also have a variety of mounts to choose from as well. Blazings are very similar to War Dancers, but are a lot stronger, and instead of normal swords, they have fancy magical swords, and instead of blonde hair, they have red hair. They are armor piercing attacks as well as being anti-infantry. They aren't really armored, but they do have a physical resistance and they do a lot of damage. They have the dodge trait to help them against missiles. As well as all this, they have the ability called Whirling Death. This allows for the Blazings to drop their armored piercing a bit for a bonus to their base weapon damage. The Wood Elves get a new shock monster cavalry in the Great Stag Riders. They are similar to Wild Riders but with bigger stags instead of deer. The Stag Riders have armor piercing and hit enemies like a truck, but don't have much defense, so you'll want to make sure they don't get locked in melee for too long. Otherwise, you'll probably start dying fast. Utilize their massive charge bonus and speed, they can get in and out fast and do a lot of damage. To add to their damage output, they have Frenzy. When their leadership drops below 50%, the unit gets even more melee damage and charge bonus. They also have Vanguard deployment similar to Ariel, which is nice. There's also a new regiment of renown to go with this unit, the Lost Sylvan Knights. These are an ethereal version of the normal Stag Riders, which also cause terror as well as fear. They're only a slightly bit better than the normal ones, but due to them being ethereal, they aren't as likely to die as fast. Lastly, we have Zoads. Zoads are a unique looking reptilian centaur creature that dwell in the forest. Like in lore, they have access to magic in the form of the Law of Life to help them in battle. They are armor piercing as well as anti-large. They aren't the most damaging unit, but they definitely will do some hurting. Their base attacks are magic as well as debuff to enemies with dampen for a 22% reduction to enemies' magical resistance for 10 seconds. Their magical abilities are Earthblood for a healing aura and Flesh to Stone to increase their armor by a lot. These units are very good at dealing with big enemies as well as helping units out with their abilities. There is also a new regiment of renowned version of the Zoads, which are the Enigmas of Giran. Pretty much just slightly better than normal ones, but instead of Earthblood they have Regrowth, which is a massive single target heal which also regenerates vigor. That's all I have for you today. What do you think of the Sisters? Will you be playing them when it releases? Let me know. And if you did enjoy the video, then consider liking it and subscribing. It does help us out. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time.